What's up, internet? My name's Ori. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. You like this video, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. Today is Wednesday, September 27th, day number 57 inside the Big Brother house. And oh boy, was today scary. We've been waiting for something to happen with Scary Week, and we had the BB zombies, but it was really kind of boring because there's no HOH and no nominations and no veto ceremony. So we were like, what's going to happen this week? There's going to be something that's got to scare and shake up this house. And wait till I tell you what they did today. You will not believe how terrifying this is. It's almost cruel what BB did to them. Like, I don't know if I can even tell you. It might be demonetized on YouTube if I tell you they gave them Easter baskets. They weren't Easter baskets, but it was pretty much. They got candies and snacks and all these fun baskets of goodies. You can't make this up. I just can't sometimes with the lack of effort they put into some of these twists and themes, and people really think that they have 17 million plans for every competition just to make sure one person wins. Like, I think you really overestimate the work that they put into this show. Like, I think you guys have to bring your expectation downs of what they're capable of. But there are some interesting things that we could talk about because, like I said yesterday, there is not much going on in the game, but in the house, a lot of things are developing. We talked about how things are kind of moving in the way of Cory and America being kind of the main house target. Not for everyone, but a good bit, and things are really kind of twisting and turning on them. A lot of this charge is being led by Blue. Yes, Blue has really come awake in this game, and she's been working very hard. Yesterday, she was kind of trolling the fields, where she was bringing up, the brothers and how they would interact with people in the house, and like, today she was kind of attempting a coup on Cory and America. So again, we talked about how the yesterday they just kind of keep becoming a little bit of like, oh, like maybe we should target them. Maybe they're the ones we should put up. And it seems now like almost everybody's on board, except for a few holdouts. Let's kind of go over the process and how this kind of is coming to be. Matt and Jag, they're kind of on board now at this point. Blue's been pretty much telling them like, yeah, they're kind of throwing you under the bus, Jag, especially a couple of the comments that Cory had made. And we're going to talk about comments and how they can be taken and used against you very easily, not just in the house, but outside the house. But there's been a few things where Cory has, in a joking attempt, and I think in Cory's head, the way he's thinking of this is, well, if I make these jokes like I don't trust Jag, people are going to think I don't trust Jag. But the way Jag and Matt and Blue see it is, not only is he putting it into people's heads, I don't trust Jag, but he's also kind of in a weird way telling people, yeah, I'm cool with Jag. Because basically what he's, one of the examples that keep going back to is during dinner yesterday, Felicia was trying to make this thing where she was like, let's all go around and like say like positive things that we've learned from this experience, right? And hers, for example, was something along the lines of, even if you think you're doing something right, you may be hurting someone. And that kind of sent people in a little bit of like, wait, what is she talking about? Who is she talking about? What's going on? And that kind of made some paranoia as well. Everybody thinking they're talking about her, and everybody thinking they're talking about, something else that she did. But when they were going around, Cory decided to make it kind of more of like a joking thing where he's like, what I've learned is never to trust Jag. Which again, I think in Cory's head, he's thinking, oh, that's going to throw people off the trail. But also, like, I maybe put it in people's head. Like, he actually might be thinking, like, if I say that, it might put people in the people's heads that, hey, don't trust Jag. And that's what the others are thinking. It's like, oh yeah, like one, he's obviously working with Jag, because you wouldn't say that, right? Like Jag said, I wouldn't say to or it was Matt. Matt said, I wouldn't say to Mimi like you stink because I don't talk to Mimi. It would be weird. But he can do it about Jag because Cory and Jag talk. They get along. So Matt and Jag, they're on board. It didn't take much for Jared and Cirie to be on board with targeting Cory. And the thing is, though, they're ready to target Cory, but I still think if they were to have nominations, I think they would go against Cory and Jag, not just against Cory and America. I think they kind of see it as like, And even Jared, like, I'm not 100% convinced that he would necessarily just go after Cory. Because I think with Jared, like, yeah, Cory's the one who put him up, but Jag and Matt, they did him dirty too, right? At least in his eyes, where he's like, I chose Matt for the veto and he didn't even use it on me. Jag was fully a part of all of this, even though he's put Jag up on the block. Nonetheless, I'm not convinced that Jared would put Cory up, because I don't know if he really sees him that much as a threat, as a just like an annoyance that he can deal with later. Cameron also doesn't necessarily seem like he took much to get on board. He's kind of been infiltrating Matt and Jag and kind of forming this fugitives alliance with them, as well as kind of like a 4-person thing with Blue. So he's kind of down for the Cory thing. So he says, because like he would say he would want to put up Cory and Felicia, and he wants to get Felicia out before jury. There's something fishy with that, right? And especially with how much he lied last time. Like his nominations, when he was saying I was going to nominate Jag and Blue, the last HOH after Red left, it was like, it doesn't make sense. It's probably not good for his game, but he's saying he's going to do it, and he's telling everyone he's going to do it. It seems like that's what he's going to do. But he was just lying to everyone, even the people we thought he could potentially trust in Bowie. He was lying to her too, and he was just doing it to blindside everyone. He wanted to be the craziest thing people had seen, and it worked. With this, I don't think he's lying to everyone, but I don't think he's 100% being honest. Because again, I just don't see why for his game, or really anyone else's game, why it would be good for Felicia to go up on the block. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Now, we then also have Bowie. She's kind of on board at this point via Matt and Jag. She really trusts in them a lot. And she actually told Cameron this as well later in the night, because I wasn't 100% sure whether or not Bowie would stick true more to Matt and Jag, or if she trusted Cory, because it did seem like she trusted him at least a little bit when they kind of formed this like 5-person thing. But she seems to really trust Matt and Jag. She told Cameron about this. Cameron actually was telling her as well, like, you're my number one. And Cameron was doing that whole thing he does where like he talks almost in riddles, where she's like, what do you think of Matt and Jag? And he's like, don't ask me things that you don't want me to say. It's like, just say it, Cameron. And pretty much implying that she would be good with Matt and Jag and that she can trust them. She's like, can I trust them? He's like, you're good. You're good. But also, he's lied to Bowie before, and this very well could just be him going, yeah, Bowie, you're good. Not wanting her to spill anything, even accidentally, to Matt and Jag, that she shouldn't trust them. So as far as I'm concerned, anything that Cameron says, you cannot buy 100%, right? He's going to play Cameron's game, so it's a little hard to know exactly where his head is. But we can take that Bowie does trust Matt and Jag more than she would trust Cory, though she didn't tell Cameron necessarily they would be going after Cory and America like Matt and Jag had told her earlier, because that's what they did, was pretty much tell her, like, listen, they're doing this, they're trying to make us look like the ones that are going to be the bad guys in this situation while they're going around being good with everybody, which isn't a bad thing either. Everybody does it. It's part of the game, is make yourself look good and make everybody else look bad. It is what it is. So it seems like Bowie's on board with the whole plan. Mimi and Felicia, I still have question marks on how much they would be on board for this. Blue was working on Mimi late into the night last night. She was talking with her up in the game room. And again, kind of that same thing where she was trying to push, like, you know, Cory's been doing a lot of this, a lot of that. Both kind of saying they kind of hope Jared comes back, which I think Mimi kind of would rather Jared come back over Cameron. She's got a much more of a working relationship with Jared than she did with Cameron. So at least for her, it's like I feel like I can trust Jared more than I can trust Cameron moving forward. But I don't know where's Mimi kind of lands with the Cory America versus Matt and Jag thing, because all of the conversations she's had with Felicia prior to this was about how, like, hey, we got to get Cory and America and break them up. We also have to break up Matt and Jag. But it always felt like they thought of Jag as the bigger threat, especially in the competitions, as well as with Matt being such a huge threat. They already know that he saved Jag once. So if you can get rid of Jag, hopefully Matt would kind of float over more towards them, although he would probably just float towards Cirie. But I don't 100% know what Mimi's going to do with this information now that she's kind of aware, like, all right, I think I have an idea of what's going on here. Will she go to Cory and kind of be like, hey, kind of want to watch for Blue? So bringing and trying to pull Mimi in could be a little bit dangerous here. Let's kind of do a little quick rundown of who I think people would nominate if they were to win HOH. And I'll also preference this with, I think a lot of people are going to be throwing HOH. So let's talk about the people who probably won't throw HOH. Blue, Jag, Matt, Cirie, Jared and Cameron if they stayed, Cory, America. Well, if Cory gets to play, that's another question. People who would probably throw, Mimi and Bowie, absolutely. Felicia should. I think even though her name's been thrown around, she probably should throw it, but I don't think she would. I think she would try her hardest. Who would people potentially nominate? Right now, Matt, Jag, and Blue would all nominate Cory and America. Bowie, she's throwing, Mimi's throwing, Felicia should throw, but it seems like she would probably go for Matt and Jag if she were to win HOH. Cirie and Jared, we kind of talked about how they would more than likely maybe put up Cory and Jag. At least that's what they were kind of talking about prior to a lot of this. And I think those nominations would hold a lot truer because they trust Matt a lot, and they think if they can get rid of Jag, Matt is kind of in their back pocket. And then also I think Cory would be going up kind of as like a pawn for them. I don't even think they necessarily would want to get Cory out in that scenario, but by putting one of them up, you can guarantee that one of the two pairs gets broken apart, if that makes sense. Cameron, he said Cory and Felicia. I don't buy this. I just, the Cory part maybe, but I cannot bring myself to admit that he would want Felicia out. And maybe he does. Maybe he really has that much of this idea that Felicia is just going to taint the jury in some way, so we can't have her in there. But I don't see that as being like the move he would want to make after being somebody who's went and done so many big moves. Like, he put Felicia up, but it wasn't to get her out. It was to get out Izzy or Cirie. Those were his targets. So I don't know. I don't know if I can believe anything that Cameron says. Cory and America, they're still kind of on the ball of one of the two that comes back, right? Jared or Cameron, one of them should go up. And then they were talking about Felicia just because that's the only one they don't really have deals with, really. Like, they want to kind of work with Cirie and just to be able to say, like, look, I want another HOH and I didn't go after you, Cirie, at least Cory. And America kind of wants to be like, yeah, like I showed you, right? Like, you can trust me. So they wouldn't put up Cirie, and they kind of feel like they want to at least string her along, right? And it would be either Cam or Jared, whoever would end up staying with Felicia, because again, like they kind of have deals with everybody else, right? Like, and even they have a deal with Felicia, but if they put up, let's say, you know, Felicia and Mimi, like that would get both of them kind of upset, right? You're upsetting at least one of them. If they put up Cirie in there, they think they're making even like 3 people potentially upset. And this would even be like if they didn't put up Cam or Jared, like if they put up Cirie and Felicia, like that would be bad, right? Because then they're making 3 people all upset, with Mimi getting upset with it as well. So they're in a tough spot. They're in a tough spot where they need this HOH, but also their targets aren't kind of pointed in the right direction. On top of this, we also kind of have to talk about what's going on with Cory and America, because there's some drama with that as well. I'm going to try and explain this all for you. It's a little complicated of a dynamic, but let's try and go over this. We've talked, and I think I get both sides, so I'm going to try and lay out both of their sides with it, as well as a third side with it. Like I said, it's a complicated dynamic. We've talked about America, how she's just flirty, right? She flirts with Jag. She also flirts with Cameron. She doesn't do it as much with Matt. Like, she jokes around with Matt, but it's not like in really that much of a flirty sense. But definitely with Cameron and Jag, both of those she has done little flirty jokes with. And it's not that big of a deal, right? It just is how she is personally, right? Like, it doesn't mean she is wanting to be in a relationship with them. It's just how she jokes around with friends. I have friends that are like that as well, where we will joke around, but there's no romantic feelings involved in it at all. And I think it's one of those things where there's some people that, you know, that's just not something they do, and they don't see it as something you do when you're in a relationship, which I can also understand that as well. But everybody's got their own opinions on, you know, how dynamics of relationships should work. And that's kind of part of the issue here as well, because this is not, you know, your normal relationship. It's a relationship that's being played out in front of millions of people watching on screens, and with a bunch of strangers in the house, and you feel so close to these people because you spend all day with them. It's complicated. It's not as straightforward and easy as a normal relationship might. So what's really going on here? We've also mentioned with America, there have been moments where it seems she was very uncomfortable with Cameron and the flirting, because she was under the impression that Cameron actually might have legitimate feelings for her. And that not only made it uncomfortable by some of the things she was saying, because if they have a different intention behind them than just a joking, playful one, she doesn't want to lead him on that way, but also that could potentially be problematic, right? If you're having someone constantly make these, you know, flirty jokes with you, but you have a feeling that they're legitimate and you don't want that, that can make you feel uncomfortable, and it's totally fair, totally valid. That has, though, seemingly gotten better, way better, over the past few weeks after they kind of had a little bit of a chat that kind of cleared the air. Though, during these chats that Cory and America were having last night, it did come up, and she did mention there still were a few times where she wasn't 100% sure they were just flirty jokes, and they were like, the way she described it was like levels, right? Like, she was like, these are more like level 1 flirts, right? So there's still some things where she's not 100% sure if they're innocent or not. The real issue, though, comes in Cory had said, I don't care if you flirt. Like, go ahead, right? Like, do your thing. Like, it doesn't bother me. That makes America a little upset, because she kind of wants Cory to care, right? She is actually developing feelings for Cory. As much as there's people around the house and even outside of the house that wants to try and think she's just playing him, at this point, she legitimately has feelings for Cory, and I believe Cory legitimately has feelings for her. But again, this is a complicated situation that isn't as straightforward as a relationship outside of the Big Brother house. We're going to talk about this a little bit more because Cory cares, but it's also a game, and he doesn't want his opinions and thoughts on the situation to affect how she's going to act with Cameron, be it in potentially a negative way where then Cameron thinks that Cory is even worse and has already kind of said like little things where he'll say to Cameron, like, I don't get it. Why doesn't he care? Like, he should care. So he doesn't want that to affect anything, but he also doesn't want America to be hindered by it, right? Like, he wouldn't want Cameron to then kind of turn on her if Cory were potentially gone and then she has nobody in the house. He would like to leave her at least the option that if he were to end up being evicted, Cameron's not also coming after her because she scorned that relationship because of Cory. So he doesn't want to hurt either of their games, but he does care. This, I think America said she understands, but she wishes that he would have talked about this and would have been a little bit more open about it. The other problem is, though, Cory doesn't necessarily want and feel comfortable talking that openly in front of the microphones and cameras, right? Because he is very private, and I think he's worried about not just the things he says, but potentially things he doesn't say. Like, for example, he doesn't want to come off as like someone who's very possessive, right? Like, he doesn't want to give that impression that he is like, you can't talk to him ever, right? Or this jealous guy. So he's trying to be very careful with what he says because he doesn't want people to take it the wrong way. And the more and more I talk on a microphone every day, the more and more I really understand that. Because again, it's not about what you say sometimes. It can be about what you don't say. I feel like it's a rant for another time and probably not for right now. But you know what? We'll say it this way. Did you guys know? Do you guys know I don't like pizza? Yeah, I think it's gross. Here's the thing though. I didn't know this either. I didn't know that I didn't like pizza. I didn't know that I thought it was gross. But I had told you guys how, you know, sometimes I like a good cheeseburger. And cheeseburgers can taste really good. But that means I hate pizza. Even though I might have also said that I love pizza at times. And there's times where I tell you that, you know, it's nice and cheesy. You can get the pepperoni on there. Don't put pineapple on it. Don't do that. But the fact that I've said I like cheeseburgers and don't every single time say I love pizza as well means I hate pizza. Did you guys know this? Because I didn't even know this about myself. But it's a thing. Some of you are completely confused by what I just said. Others might understand. It's not as straightforward sometimes as what you say. It's about what you don't say, apparently, because people make assumptions. Anyway, that really kind of covers everything that happened on the live feed yesterday. Things I'm looking forward to seeing what happens today, though, is what's going to happen with Mimi. Is she going to kind of talk with Cory about the conversation she had with Blue? Is she going to let it be because that's not her battle, right? I think she might end up at least hinting at it, but again, we'll see how that all goes. Let me know what you guys are thinking about everything that's going on in the comments down below. What did you think of the scary baskets? What do you think of the Cory America situation? What do you think? What do you think of cheeseburgers and pizza? Let me know in those comments down below. Also, who do you want to see win HOH? We will find all of this out tomorrow about what happens with the zombies, what happens with HOH, and whoever wins HOH, who do you want or who do you think they will target? Let me know all that stuff in the comments down below. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button. You like this video, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. Check out the links to all of my socials in the description down below, pinned comment as well. You can check out Twitch, TikTok. I haven't been on there very much recently. It's been just so hard to find the time to be able to do the real life stuff I have to get done and responsibilities. Also making these videos, keeping up with the live feeds, and also getting streams in. But I really need to try and get back on there. But you can check out those links down there. Also, the Discord's been a lot of fun. So make sure you check that out as well. You can follow me over on Twitter as well. Thank you guys again all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.